through my lifeguarding, I ended up going into law enforcement and starting with the San Diego Sheriff's Department. The chief at the lifeguard department said, yeah, you can come back. In fact, Sizemore, we have the perfect job for you. It's what's called beach patrol. And what we're gonna do, each police officer on it had to go through lifeguard training, and each lifeguard had to go through police training, and I already had the police training. So he was all excited about that. San Clemente was excited because I could come right on and actually be a police reserve with no further training. And the captain at the harbor department was an old surfer from Doheny that I knew. And I told him I was interested in coming up to the harbor department. And he couldn't be more excited because you know the coast all the way from Laguna Beach down to San Clemente. We'd love to have you. So voila, I ended up at the harbor department where I retired out of law enforcement. In 2009, we had a humongous New Zealand swell. And surfers will recognize that right off, a New Zealand swell. But to give you, for example, the wedge was going off 20 feet. And that was, honest to goodness, 20 feet of the sets coming up. Not jacking up, but going there. And I happened to be driving that day. We were on the fireboat, and I was the operator, and then you have what's called a deckhand. And you trade off each day, so one guy just can't hog driving all day long. You change it both times. What was really interesting about that day is my partner and I were both the CPR AED instructors for the department, and just happened to be teamed up that day. Well, what had happened, his father had his son, along with his grandfather, were down fishing from the rocks at Cameo Shores, which is the south end of Corona del Mar. The father got washed off the rocks. We got the call. We were just stopping in the office to have lunch. So fortunately, we're at that end of the harbor. Went racing out and around the corner down the Cameo Shores. Now I'm looking, because all you could see was white water. And I'm looking behind me to see if there's another set coming, because it's the most precarious position you can get in, is being 25 feet off a rock. Not only that, but having all the lobster buoys surrounding where you are, you don't want to foul a prop in those conditions. And as I was driving in, the wave kind of burbled this victim's sweatshirt, and I just saw it ripple in the water along with the Newport Beach helicopter above us, and they're shouting on the radio that they're going to drop a dye pack on him. And I said, I got him in sight. He's bow on. And I tell my partner, and he said, I'm going to bring him up on your side. Instead of turning around and going bow out to the waves, it causes a swirl, burble in the water, and I didn't want to lose the guy on the surface. And he's face down. He's not moving. So I bring him up on my partner's side of the boat, the right side. My partner grabs the boat hook, snags him, walks him around back, and we have a cutout of the stern on the transom with the swim step. And I look, gauge it, put the engines in neutral, run back. We each grab an arm and dunk him about 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and then haul him right over the swim step onto the deck. And I quickly get back on the controls. Now I can spin the boat without worrying about causing a burble on this guy. But I really have to be careful on it because of all the different lobster traps, the buoys that are surrounding the boat. But have a clear enough area I could get around, get outside the surf line, and then go back and help my partner doing resuscitation and set up all the oxygen for him, the airways, everything like that. So it's all laid out for the guy, then jump back on the controls and drive back into the harbor department dock where the paramedics are waiting for us. So we had him breathing about halfway into the harbor when we got inside the harbor. And for that, they nominated us and awarded us the Medal of Valor for Lifesaving. And after all my years of lifeguarding, this is near the end of my career, and it's accumulation of all your training, all your surfing, all your water knowledge that allowed that to happen. to pull that off like that. So I have to salute the Laguna and San Clemente Lifeguard Department for doing that training and having that opportunity to all of a sudden put it to use in a life or death situation like that.